welcome to Beat the Odds. The countdown to Christmas is on, and Santa not the only one giving out gifts. So are we, including the betting version of Julio Iglesias' cologne. Okay, Beat the Odds starts right now.
From our Las Vegas studios, this is Beat the Odds, sponsored by Superbook Westgate Las Vegas.
Welcome to Beat the Odds, broadcasting from our Las Vegas studio. I'm Dave Hall.
And I'm Mariah Janos. 'Tis the season for gift giving, and while Santa might be dropping off some toys and a new TV, we're unwrapping some presents too.
How about our cool Santa back here, right?
The coolest.
All right. I think this is where the cologne thing comes in. When it comes to betting advice, you want the Julio, not the cheap stuff that makes you smell like a Vegas casino bathroom at 3 a.m.
We've all been there.
Yeah, we have. So coming up on today's show, Fat Jack and Teddy will have their gifts, their lumps of coal, and, yes, explain that whole cologne thing.
Thank God. And Brandon Marshall is talking about the greatest gifts in football, fumbles, picks, and Von Miller's cowboy hat. Plus, I was at the Westgate earlier this week to see what gifts they're offering this holiday season. We'll hear about all that in a few minutes. Dave?
All right, Mariah, even by our standards, that was a weird way to start the show, guys.
Always a little shaky.
We'll get the cologne thing later. Let's start things off, though, with Teddy. In terms of the holiday season and giving gifts, you have some, perhaps?
Absolutely. Let's talk about some gifts. The gifts we love. What are the gifts we love in this world? Gifts that keep on giving. The best point spread teams in pro football. This year, Cincinnati, Detroit, Washington. The very best teams when it comes to covering point spread. The gifts we use and then we throw away, maybe good short term. Well, a couple of teams heating up down the stretch. Carolina all of a sudden playing some decent football. The LA Bolts have turned it around. Jacksonville, three teams that have some potential short term at least. And of course, the gifts that look pretty, but maybe they didn't work so well. Arizona, Tampa Bay, Las Vegas, three teams that were supposed to be good. None of them been any good. And if you've been betting them, you've been burned. Last but not least, the lumps of coal, the very worst point spread teams in football this year. Denver, no surprise. Indy, no surprise. Kansas City, a surprise to a lot of people. Good straight up, not so good against the point spread.
Yeah, a lot of backdoor covers on them. All right, the cologne thing. That's your.
So the key is, we're on the same page here, but the key is now that we have all these gifts or the pile of things, how do we extract the ones that we can make money from going forward versus the ones that are a little bit of fool's gold? And that's where the cologne comes in versus the Jelly of the Month Club, as I call it, because I'm a fat guy. I enjoy Jelly of the Month. It is the gift that keeps giving every month, and I enjoy it all year long. Teams like that are trends we can identify that not only have helped us to this point, but that we'll be able to take advantage of over the next month or so. The cologne is a gift I received, and really I'd never had a crowd that is sophisticated enough to appreciate it. So it was one of those that looked like something up front, but ended up being something totally different. So we're going to be able to try to identify those teams that maybe have helped us to this point, but going forward might want to stay away from.
Yeah, you're saying here the bar is raised.
It is.
This time of year.
Anytime you have this much data and this much information, you've got to be able to dissect, all right, what of that can I rely on? So if it's not 75, 80% to this point, I kind of put it in that category, it may not continue, because the league is all about playing games that are uncomfortable and playing spots that are uncomfortable. So it needs to be a really consistent trend for me to put it in that Jelly, loft it to that Jelly of the Month Club status.
I mean, this is literally what you guys do for a living. You've been doing it for decades. At this point of the season, do you think you got a good handle on what these teams are?
I hope so.
Yeah. At this point, you need to, right? If you don't know by now, you're not going to.
Yeah. It doesn't mean they're going to win and cover every week.
Yeah.
But it does mean that in general, we got an idea about which teams might take it all come February.
All right, well, we're going to dive in more into that. Thanks, guys. Vegas sports books are in the giving mood, too. You give them money, they give you a chance to win more of it back. Mariah is at the Superbook Westgate Las Vegas for us.
Thanks, Dave. I'm here with Jay Cornegay, EVP of Superbook Operations here at the Westgate Las Vegas. Now, Jay, it's the holiday season, the season of giving. Is there anything that here at the Superbook you guys are giving out to your members for the holidays?
Yes, we are. Actually, it depends on the jurisdiction that you might be playing in, but Superbook offers a lot of bonuses out there. Here in Nevada, for new account holders, you bet 100, you get 100, and then we also take care of their deposit fees, and those can range from anywhere from 3.5%. Superbook takes care of those. So a few gifts out there from the Superbook.
Lovely. Now let's get down to business. Week 14, we saw something on Monday night that sparked a little bit of conversation around injuries and the impact that they can have on the bets that people place. Yes, it's frustrating, but that doesn't automatically mean that just because an injury occurs, your bet should be refunded, correct?
That is correct, but there's always two sides to every story, and we get a little kick about the bad beat scenario, and they really are, but that's part of betting. Injuries are part of betting, and you could be on the good side of that, the bad side of that. We've all been there, including the books. The books can be on the short end of it. I know a lot of people call those bad beats, but there's always two sides to the story. Some people did bet Murray under. Some, they did bet no on Murray. So it goes both ways. It's unfortunate. We'd like to see it play it out, but it's part of sports betting.
All right, thank you so much, Dave. We'll send it back to you in studio.
Thanks to Mariah and Jay. Our show of giving continues. Teddy will have those stocking stuffers, sometimes forgotten, but sneaky good. Plus, Brandon Marshall will explain this. Why did he dress up like Von Miller, and why Von is actually one of football's greatest gifts?
And as we head to break, which quarterback gave up the most pick sixes in his career? The answer, Joe Namath. Broadway Joe gave up 5 of them in his 13-year career. Way to go, Joe.
Beat the Odds is sponsored by Superbook Westgate Las Vegas.
The Westgate Las Vegas Resort and Casino. Legendary. Vegas. Fun. Enjoy Westgate's classic gaming and entertainment. Savor fine dining. And experience the world's largest sportsbook, Westgate Superbook. It's all at the Westgate Las Vegas Resort and Casino.
Technically, the game lasts 60 minutes, but the memories last a lifetime. Show the world what it means to be a fan. Exclusive fan gear by Fanatics. Fanatics, officially licensed everything.
You love our show. Now you can get even more from BeatTheOddsTV.com. Betting lines, trends, and analysis of the big games.
The difference between a bad beat and a big win.
BeatTheOddsTV.com.
Welcome back to Beat the Odds. Did you know the most penalized team in pro football this year is Denver with an average of 9 per game? Santa has a bunch of Denver players and coaches on the naughty list this season. They set a franchise record of 25 penalties in just their first 2 games.
Brandon Marshall's in studio. He was shaking his head at that factoid. Hey, could you imagine if we had a penalty flags here in Vegas? Every time somebody acted naughty, they got a flag. We'd have more yellow dye than a cheese factory around here. Scan that QR code. No penalty flag there. Just our website, BeatTheOddsTV.com. All right, we are back with Teddy. While everybody focuses naturally on the Christmas tree, Teddy, I feel like stockings are underrated because you can find some goodies in there, too.
I'm with you, too. Yeah. I mean, we spent all this time at the top talking about the sides that are good. Let's talk about totals. Totals are great stocking stuffers for bettors out there. And what we're looking for at this stage of the season, consistency. The most consistent over teams all year. Detroit, Seattle, Philadelphia, Minnesota, Chicago. All teams that are either good or really good offensively with perhaps some defensive issues. Then you have the under teams. Again, consistent all year long. Tampa, Buffalo, Baltimore, Washington, and New York, the G-Men as well. These teams have been cashing under tickets from day one this season and continue to do so even as we approach the holidays.
Any of those teams surprise you from the start of the year to being on your stocking stuffer list now?
Well, I didn't necessarily expect Buffalo or Tampa to be dead nuts under teams the way they've been.
Yeah.
Both squads, the defense has been there. The offense comes and goes.
Perhaps a little underperforming on that side of the ball?
Sure. I mean, Tampa in particular.
Yeah.
But Buffalo's had some very high totals. I don't think that offense is one that I'm concerned about moving forward, which Tampa's is problematic.
All right. I'm concerned about Brandon Marshall because he seemed very upset by Mariah's factoid. So I'm going to go walk over to Brandon now. Not only that, but also a few weeks ago, Brandon, you were outed on the wheel as our worst gift giver here on the show.
Right.
Have you recovered from that?
Actually, I haven't, because Christmas is next week. I haven't even started my shopping, so it's going to be ugly.
All right. Well, we're going to try to get through these next couple of minutes. In terms of giving gifts from a player's perspective, like what are some of the things that are gifts for you guys?
Well, I mean, look, if you're a defensive player, you can get a bunch of gifts, right? Tip ball for interceptions, fumbles. I actually had a fumble for a touchdown. We played Philadelphia, and I actually improvised on my blitz. But thank God Von Miller actually, got the sack fumble on Nick Foles, and I picked it up and scored my first and only touchdown in my career.
What was that like when you crossed?
Oh, it was amazing. But we was getting blown out, so it was kind of like, it was bittersweet. But I still celebrated a little bit, because I'm like, hey, it's my first touchdown.
And you're only one.
And the only one.
You probably remember every step of it.
I still got the football.
Did you?
Absolutely.
Well, so what are some other gifts that, as players, you guys look forward to?
Yeah, I mean, look, we look forward to gifts in the locker room, right? We look forward to, gifts from our, the GM, right? We get paid.
Those better be the nice ones.
Absolutely. So it's a couple things that we can get as gifts. Von Miller speaking of Von, he was one of the best gift givers on the team. He gifted us all with cowboy hats. I still have mine.
Oh, that's cool.
He was somebody who really, that's me right there.
Okay, explain this photo here.
So Von used to have an annual Halloween party. And so one year I was like, you know what, I'm going to dress up as Von. I just got this bright idea, and he was sponsored by Old Spice.
Really good.
And so I ended up, putting the tattoos on myself with the cowboy hat and the glasses. I did everything.
What's the mustache there? It looks like electrical tape.
Because Von did have a mustache, right? He has a thick mustache, so I was like, okay, how can I embody him as much? So the tape. Well, the tape is wild. I don't know if I can really, say what happened to him on the air. But,
gotcha.
Everybody knew what it was, like an inside joke. Everybody knew what it meant, but it was definitely interesting.
On your previous bullet points, you also had Kansas City on there as one of the teams. What do you mean with Kansas City? Because we've been hearing a lot of, I don't want to say negative, but in terms of betting, Kansas City maybe not cashing for a lot of bettors. How do you see them as a gift?
As a gift, man. I mean, because honestly, it's tough to go against them. Okay, at the end of the day, it's tough to go against them. Kansas City, they're getting a gift because their last four, I think they have the weakest schedule for the last part of the season.
Okay.
Their last four games are, I want to say, Houston and a lot of different teams that, they're going to easily walk into the playoffs. They may not lose another game, so I think they were gifted a gift by the schedule.
Yeah. All right, Brandon Marshall, thank you, sir, and thank you for sharing that photograph. That was wonderful. Well, all right. See why Jack is comparing Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City to that cologne again, plus Mariah.
Earlier, we said that Denver was on the naughty list for the most penalties. They're also on the nice list. They won the 2022 Sports Humanitarian Team of the Year award for their community work. Congratulations, Denver, and to all of the teams for supporting local communities, especially this time of year.
The Westgate Las Vegas Resort and Casino. Legendary. Vegas. Fun. Enjoy Westgate's classic gaming and entertainment. Savor fine dining. And experience the world's largest sportsbook, Westgate Superbook. It's all at the Westgate Las Vegas Resort and Casino.
Welcome back to Beat the Odds. Which Christmas Eve game featured a ghost from the past? Spooky. The answer, the double overtime win from then Oakland over then Baltimore in 1977. This game included the famous ghost to the post play that set up a game-tying field goal in the final second of regulation. The 42-yard pass was from Ken Stabler to Dave Casper, who of course was nicknamed the Ghost.
Yeah, Mariah, now that team calls Vegas home, and they play in that beauty right there, Allegiant Stadium. Scan that QR code. It will take you to our website, beattheoddstv.com. And thanks to STN Video for helping us all season with our website. All right, well, back to the gift that keeps on giving us, and you have a gift that keeps on giving you.
Yeah, I think this time of year, it's important to identify some trends that have happened that I think we can rely on. As you go through this last part of the regular season, you want to have kind of some safety nets, right? Some blankets that you can rely on. And one without fail that has been happening is Denver going under the total. So look, we're talking a lot about Denver, but when you get consistency out of one team, take advantage of it, especially in the month of December. They've gone under 11 of their last 13 games. they're going to continue doing that. The game against Kansas City, totally different environment. They got way behind, had to kind of throw the playbook out, and that ended up working toward the total to get over. But most of the time, they're going to have a very conservative offense. So look for Denver to continue staying under.
Okay, all right.
Another one, it's opposite day in Kansas City when you're talking about totals. And I think identifying what we've seen the first part of the year will help us going forward. Not only, they're going to be a playoff team as well. So Kansas City is one of those teams, they're under 7 of 13 times. They go over the total when they play really good defenses. Andy Reid is very good at, I know, it's opposite day, right?
Yeah.
Of opening things up. They're over at Denver twice, San Francisco and Tampa. Those are the games they've gone over. All have very good defense, along with Las Vegas, by the way. They're kind of the outlier there.
Yeah.
They go under whenever they play mediocre to bad defenses. And the reason they do that is they control the clock, they control time of possession, they don't take as many chances when they're playing worse teams. So if you're looking to go over with Kansas City, make sure they're playing playing a very good defense. The opposite of what you want to do.
It's almost like they get a little bored with the regular season and they kind of play to the level of their competition. Maybe?
And I think they understand that they need to open it up a little bit against good defenses because most of those teams we mentioned don't have great offenses. So a lead will, similar to what we saw against Denver. They get the lead, then they can go and be a little more aggressive defensively to disrupt the other team's offense.
I saw you had a couple other teams real quick on that list.
Yeah, as far as who they're playing next, Houston and Seattle both are playing Tampa next. Both have very mediocre defenses, so you're going to want to go under, even though the instinct might be to go over with Mahomes.
All right, Jack, good stuff. Thank you, sir. Now let's send it back to Mariah for a few Secret Santa gifts.
Thanks, Dave. Yeah, one of the best holiday traditions out there is Secret Santa. Sneaky gifts with no recognition until the gift giver is revealed. So who are the Secret Santas around the league that I can guarantee won't get recognized until maybe season end when all is said and done? Let's start in Cincinnati with defensive tackle DJ Reader. His numbers don't necessarily jump out at you, but he is one of the best in his position at disrupting plays and stopping the run, and Cincy wouldn't have made it to the big game last year without him. Heading south to Carolina, DJ Moore. We love the name DJ. He's a classic case of an extremely talented receiver stuck on a less than talented team that has no quarterback. But the fact is, since 2019, Moore has had 3 seasons of 1,000 yards receiving. If you can rack up that kind of yardage with Kyle Allen and Sam Darnold as your quarterbacks, imagine what's possible with an elite quarterback throwing to him. Okay, so this next one may be a point of contention, but hear me out. Houston quarterbacks Davis Mills and Jeff Driscoll. Yes, the Texans are trash, but the 2 quarterback platoon in Week 14 against Dallas may be the route to take for Houston. Nothing else has stuck. None of Houston's quarterbacks are capable of playing a full game clearly, so divide up that time, and you're at least giving your team a chance to fight. I'm all in on the 2 platoon system. It's the Secret Santa 2-for-1 special, if you will. Now, keeping it in the South, New Orleans has got themselves one heck of a linebacker in Demario Davis. The man has been named All-Pro for the last 3 years and has yet to make a Pro Bowl appearance. Give the man his flowers already. Davis is the only player in the league with more than 100 tackles, 10-plus tackles for loss, and 3-plus sacks in 3 of his last 4 seasons. He's the anchor of this NOLA team, whether we want to acknowledge it or not. There you have it. Secret Santas around the league that deserve extra milk and cookies this year.
All right, thank you, Mariah. We have a few more gifts for you today. Jack and Teddy will have their top picks, plus the wheel. After weeks of causing trouble, apparently the wheel is also in a giving mood today. See what the wheel reveals next.
'Tis the season for giving. My vote for the best gift from a quarterback to his O-line, Tom Brady once gave each of his O-linemen a $50,000 SUV. Lamar Jackson gave his Rolexes, but my favorite, Trevor Siemian gave each of his O-line guys a parka equipped with a Skittles dispenser. Perfect gift. Who doesn't love Skittles? I want one.
Coming at you from Las Vegas, the sports betting capital of the world.
You love our show. Now you can get even more from BeatTheOddsTV.com. Betting lines, trends, and analysis of the big games.
The difference between a bad beat and a big win.
The interviews, the stories, plus a unique spin on sports history. Your ticket to in-depth content as seen on the show is all at BeatTheOddsTV.com. Check it out today.
Welcome back into Beat the Odds. We got the whole fam back on the big, comfy couch. You guys excited for the holidays or what?
So excited. Ready to take a nap?
Yeah, kinda.
The only thing I can think about right now is the huge scar on Brandon's knee. Holy cow! The price you guys pay to play football.
I had this surgery 5 months ago, but my knee went bone on bone in 2018, which is why I had to leave Denver. So, you know, I finally found a doctor to fix it. Now I got new cartilage, and I feel brand new.
Jeez,
and we're now an episode of Grey's Anatomy.
Anybody here can beat that scar?
Mariah and I both have some scars, but if I start showing my scars, the ratings are going to plummet because nobody wants to see the different places I have scars.
The childhood mishaps lead to some pretty unfortunate scarring.
It's amazing we're alive, right?
Yeah.
All right, well, let's instead do top picks. Hopefully everybody will stay tuned in for that. Jack, why don't you get us started?
Yeah, sweeper last week, right?
Yeah, good job, buddy.
Really, congratulations, all right? Let's see if we can keep it going. Under the total in the Atlanta-New Orleans game. 4-1 to the under for Atlanta, 5-1 to the under for New Orleans. Both these teams going under the total. Atlanta has a bad defense, but New Orleans doesn't have the offense, nor will they have the game plan to take advantage of that to get it over. It's a low 40s total. We're going to go under the total, Atlanta-New Orleans.
All right, Teddy, how about you?
Well, Jack likes the total. I like the side in this one for sure. And this is absolutely a fade the false favorite type of situation. New Orleans is 3-9 in their last 12 games. This team can't be laying more than a field goal. Not even maybe. These teams met already once this year. 1-point game. New Orleans trailed by 16 points in the fourth quarter of that game. That's not a situation where I'm going to be laying more than a field goal. And Atlanta, of course, in revenge for that defeat. It's a tight series. The last meeting wasn't the only recent meeting between these two teams that's been decided by a field goal or less. 2 of the last 3 in that range. And of course, we got the rookie, Desmond Ridder, making his first start. That means no film for New Orleans to study on this guy. I think Atlanta hangs around.
All right, you guys, now it's time for the wheel. This thing has been causing trouble lately. As we know, Brandon got in trouble last week. But I hear it's being nice today. So it's our 5 heads on a Vegas-style slot machine. Whomever it lands on must reveal something. So here we go. Let's spin that bad boy. There go the 5 heads. And... there we go.
All right. We were just talking Desmond Ridder. Let's continue to talk Desmond Ridder. You want me to reveal something?
Sure.
I think Desmond Ridder is going to go over his rushing total this week. That's the prop I would look for on the wheel.
All right. Thanks, guys. This was a weird but fun show.
It's the holidays. It's supposed to be that way, right?
Say that sums up the holiday
Conditioning
season.
ourselves for who the people we're going to be with over the next week. So.
It's kind of like our family. Yes.
All right. Well, big thanks to Jack, Teddy, Brandon, Mariah, all you guys watching from home. I'm Dave Hall. Good luck shopping. Good luck betting. And we'll see you again next week right here on Beat the Odds.